So today's topic is mainly about spousal sponsorship. It's a very common topic. A lot of people are looking more information on it. So all about it is what we are discussing today. If you do want to know anything in specific, please do leave us a comment in our comment box. We are very happy to hear from you and what you'd like to tell us. Hi, welcome to Yoke's YouTube channel. I'm Liz Matthew, the regulated Canadian immigration consultant. Nice to have you all here. So let's look into who can be sponsored and what is this all about. So if you are a Canadian citizen or permanent resident in Canada and would like to bring your spouse to Canada, or if you are married to a Canadian and wondering how the sponsorship process works, this video you should be watching till the end. So let's dive into the video. So what we will be looking at is who can sponsor, who can be sponsored. Is it inland versus outland? What is it all about? What are the required documents and processing times? Then open work permits. Am I eligible to apply for it? And what are some of the common refusal reasons for this type of application? And how can you strengthen your application? So that's basically what we will be addressing in this video. So what is spousal sponsorship? So it is a family reunification program. That's what Canada intended it to be, which allows Canadian citizens and permanent residents of Canada to sponsor their spouse, common law partner, or conjugal partners for permanent residents. And the purpose of the program is simple. Canada believes families should be together. And unlike many of the other economic programs such as Express Entry, PNP, there is no CRS score requirement for the spousal sponsorship program, which is a good thing, and no job offer is also required. And there is also no language requirements. These are all the plus points of this program, which you do not need to be having. And the main focus is to proving how genuine the relationship is. That's basically all about this application. And who can sponsor? So you need to be at least 18 years of age and be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. You need to be living in Canada, or if you are a Canadian citizen living abroad, demonstrate that your intention is basically to return into Canada even after your permanent residence, your spouse's permanent residence application is approved. The intention is important. You should not be receiving social assistance for any reasons other than disability. That is a key thing to remember. And you should not be in default of previous sponsorship undertakings. This is something to be noted as well. And not having certain criminal convictions. That is also important, and not be bankrupt, such as subject to any kind of bankruptcy or anything of that sort. You are, if so, you are not eligible to sponsor. And as a sponsor, you must sign an undertaking. The undertaking years is 3 years. You are responsible for the partner that you are sponsoring for 3 years in terms of food, clothing, shelter, all of that sort. Who can be sponsored? We did discuss this briefly. So, spouse. Basically, what that is you are legally married to that person, and the marriage must be legal in both the country that it occurred and under Canadian law. That is very important when you sponsor a spouse, and IRCC does look at that. And common law partners, yes, can be sponsored. So, what is common law partner? You need to be in a live in relationship for at least 12 months, and it is a marriage like relationship. And evidence to prove this type of relationship can be your joint lease, your joint bank accounts, your utility bills, your insurance policies, and shared address documents. And conjugal partners. This is not a common category, but it applies when couples have been in committed relationship for at least 1 year, but they cannot live together or marry because of exceptional reasons such as immigration barriers or legal restrictions. Then those people are called as conjugal partner. But that type of relationship is very difficult to prove. if you are able to prove it, well, they can also be sponsored. And the very common question is, should I do an inland application or an outland spousal sponsorship application? And so one of the common questions is that. So, what is inland spousal sponsorship? The sponsored spouse must be already in Canada, and the benefits of going through an inland spousal sponsorship is you will be able to apply for an open work permit after an acknowledgement of receipt for the PR application has been received. And you can remain together in Canada till the PR application is being processed. And it's easier to maintain family unity through the inland sponsorship application. And what is the main big challenge is travel. If you are someone who is looking for traveling outside Canada, this can be risky under processing timelines, and you must maintain legal status when required. And outland sponsorship. So the sponsored spouse lives outside Canada, and the benefits is it's travel flexibility. If you are someone who's looking to travel, go for the outland sponsorship. Even when you are inside Canada, you can still apply for an outland sponsorship if travel is a priority for you. And what is the challenge is that couples may remain separated during processing. So you don't have to be living together while your outland sponsorship is in process. And the best circumstances, the best option depends on what is your particular circumstances. These are the benefits and challenges is what we discussed, and depending on each person's priority is what is best for you. And what are the documents that are mainly required? As I told you, relationship genuinity is key in the spousal sponsorship application. And some of the relation proofs are your marriage certificate, your wedding photographs, your engagement photos with family and the crowd, and also travel records, your communication history, your social media, how well the public know about your relationship, your joint financial statements, your identity documents, your birth certificates, your national identity cards, your medical examination, your police clearance certificates. These are just some of the documents that you can submit to prove the genuinity of your relationship. And the golden question is, how does IRCC determine if your relationship is genuine? IRCC officers, they basically look at your relationship history, how the couple met, communication patterns, the style of talking in your chat history, and your family involvement. So that can be caught from your pictures, and your financial interdependence. That is very much key. So even if your spouse is outside Canada, how well are you connected? Are you involving the other partner in the decisions that you make? That is reflected in your chat history, in your pictures, your body language, everything, it can be read over there. And what are your future plans together? These are all some of the things that IRCC do look at to prove if a relationship is actually genuine. An officer looks at the entire picture, at all of it. And a genuine marriage does not need to be perfect. If it sounds too perfect, there is something really wrong. And the relationship must not have been entered just for convenience. So, marriage of convenience is something IRCC is against, as they will look at all ways to interpret your relationship if it is that way. And if they do find something suspicious, you are red flagged right there. And open work permit for spouses. This is something very important that some people are looking at. So, one major advantage of the inland sponsorship, as we said earlier, is the ability to obtain an open work permit. So, this allows a sponsored spouse to work for most employers in Canada, as it's an open work permit, and gain Canadian work experience, support the household financially while waiting for their permanent residence. And many families find this extremely helpful during processing the open work permit route. And some of the main common refusal reasons is insufficient relationship evidence. So, this is one of the most important keys. So, even if your partner is outside Canada, you haven't met them too often, You need to prove your relationship with pictures, calls. It shouldn't sound like it's just entered into for convenience. Inconsistent information. So different answers on different forms. They see how unified that whole application is. And the lack of communication evidence, particularly in long distance relationship and marriage primarily for immigration purposes. If IRCC believes the relationship exists mainly to obtain your immigration benefits, this is a strong refusal point. And missing documents, say like incomplete applications, can cause delays or refusal. And how can you make your application stronger now that we have discussed the refusal reasons? I could recommend you to submit your evidence, like your marriage evidence or your live-in evidence properly, include detailed relationship timeline, explain any unusual circumstances that you think the officer would have doubt about, explain it in a letter, provide photos from different stages of the relationship, include travel records and family interactions, and organize your documents professionally. It's very, very important. So making the officer's life easy is very important, as they look at so many applications and they do not have too much patience to like sit there and sort your application. So if it is organized, it makes the officer's life easy too. So more evidence is usually better than less evidence. And in regards to processing times, it varies for depends on the country of residence, security checks, the medical examinations, the application completeness. Always go ahead and check the IRCC website to see what are the current processing times, as they do update it frequently. Every week, I'd say, or every now and then, they do update the inland and outline family sponsorship timelines. So if you are someone who is looking to sponsor your spouse or common law partner, I'm sure this video has been helpful to you. Leave us a comment and let us know what questions you have, and we are happy to help you out. And share this video and hit the like button so we'll know that you like the content, and we'll be able to create more such videos for you. Thank you all for tuning in. See you all in the next video.